And in that same context, teachers throughout the times have always said, Dharma is not about doing things. Dharma doesn't become Dharma, Buddhadharma doesn't become Buddhadharma until through the methods applied, one is not bringing about change, transformation, transition in one's own self completely. That again, change and transition that must manifest and be seen by the others. Your own self saying, oh, I'm going through a lot of transition, but that which is totally absent, in the eyes of the others. Nobody can see any change in you, but you yourself think you've gone through a lot of changes. Not that kind of change, but a change that is without words spoken and expressed, felt by the others. Such changes must come about, and only then can one truly be confident that one is practicing the Dharma. One may not know many teachers, that's quite all right. One may not know the divisions of history and lineage and classifications, that's also all right. One may not know many mantras or how many different kinds of liturgies may be there. People tend to become very embarrassed about not knowing how to ring the bell and damaru. There's no need to be embarrassed about that. If someone asks you about a lot of theories and so on and so forth, and melodies and rituals and different kinds of deities and so forth, all these are fine. They are easy to learn. But despite knowing all this, if the heart of the person is not cured, if the mind of the person still retains the rigidity and the stubbornness and the selfishness and the greed and the sort of ambition and the agenda filled with worldly sort of tendencies, then no matter how many years of meditation you may have done, how many teachers you know personally, and you have the emails and the phone numbers of all the holinesses and so on and so forth, doesn't make a difference at all. So I often say, people when they say, oh, I know so-and-so holiness, or I have been in 10 years of retreat or 15 years of retreat, it's nothing so dramatic. Very good. We always say, very good. You've been in 10 years of retreat. Now let's see what has done to you, isn't it? After 10 years of retreat or whatever number of years of retreat, finish this sadhana and that sadhana and so on and so forth, there are Mahamudra and Dzogchen and know all the hungs and the pats, as we say. That's all very fine. And you stargaze or sky gaze or relax and expand or whatever it is. That's all very fine. But on the other hand, many times, unfortunately, close encounter with such people leaves us with a lot of bad taste. And you find selfishness, you find uptightness, you find arrogance, you find rigidity, you find so much display and ostentatious display, and no sign of really being a person who can be true and genuinely, selflessly kind. Then we often feel very, very sad at, what went wrong? Which point did they miss? What did they not hear? What part of the teachings was ever made to understand by these people where you would know a subject that you would never do yourself? You would know what to eliminate, and yet you would never eliminate that from your own mind stream. And then these days, it's, another very popular thing to do is, I'd like to teach Dharma. It's everybody's wish to teach Dharma, which is all very good, but teach Dharma that you practice, which is very important. And so when there is a lot of teachings that are being given, but one doesn't practice them, then as a listener, we don't like to listen from people who don't practice what is being taught or what is being given as teachings. In the same way, then every one of us has to realize, just as I do not want, likewise others will not want it in the same way. And therefore, it is very essential to have an accurate understanding of Buddhadharma as whatever methods you do, whether it is formal meditation, whether it is informal meditation, whether it is Tibetan Buddhism or any other kind of Buddhism, or maybe not even Buddhism at all. But so long as this human being who is doing this practice, who is walking this journey, genuinely shows the transition and the change in the attitude and the conduct, softness of the person, gentleness of the person, genuine inward contentment, and a contentment that is manifest as joyful contentment, happiness in each moment, where there is not the sense of rigidity, but allowance for others to be totally free, to be given freedom from your own demands and expectations. When that suppleness, flexibility of the attitude arises, all things fall into place, all the good qualities fall into place. Through mantra recitation, if you can generate that kind of flexibility of attitude and conduct, then the mantra is very beneficial. Being in retreat, if this is able to be received, that is also very good. Through following teachers and keeping their instructions in mind, if you can bring about that change in your own personality, attitude, and conduct, then it is worth following such teachers and their teachings, belonging to certain lineages and doing certain practices, whether Vajrayana, all different kinds of Vajrayana practices, is bringing about such flexibility of attitude. Then choosing to practice the sadhanas of Vajrayana has been a very excellent choice. Not doing anything and yet being able to bring about that flexibility of attitude, genuine contentment in oneself, and therefore really selflessly kind to the others, simplicity and humility, and genuine softness of the attitude, if that is being cultivated. Not a word of Buddhism if that person hasn't understood, but if it is there, that person, our teachers have always said, has gotten a better understanding of Buddhadharma than somebody who sits in a meditation box and the only reason why you meditate is so that you can go out and teach others. Or the only reason is so that quickly you may learn something more than your other Dhamma brother or Dhamma sister who is in the next room. And being able to therefore take these teachings or these instructions into heart and really in your own mind saying, what is Dhamma? What does it mean for me to have begun walking this path of practice? Is it to collect a number of things that are exotic, or is it to truly bring about an awareness and a genuine change in the way I relate to this world and to other sentient beings, in the way I think about myself and see what I am able to really present as a human being within my own self?